Hi everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. I am continuing my baby shower series with project number 9. Project number 9 is going to be the baby shower floral arrangements. These are going to be recycled, so I'm going to take my already made arrangements and turn them into blue arrangements for the baby shower. I'm even going to do one with some balloons so you can get an idea of what they're going to look like when they're finally there on Saturday, which is this coming Saturday. So you're seeing this on Friday, so it's tomorrow. All right, everyone, so I've got 2 arrangements here that I absolutely love. I switched them around according to the seasons. This is an arrangement that I did in a video when I was doing some floral design for you. I think this one was also, so I'll go ahead and link the video for at least one of them in the description box below so that you can see how I put it all together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to take them apart, or at least take out the flowers that I'm not going to be using, because this one's all pink. So I'm going to transform it into blue. Might make it a little bit lower, and then I'm going to add some blues, which I have right here, whites and some creams, some berries, maybe some cotton. And then I'm also going to add a balloon bouquet on one of these for now. They're both going to have that for the party, but I don't want to waste too many balloons, so I'm just going to do one on one of the arrangements. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to be using the basic tools that I normally use when I make floral arrangements, which are my wire cutters. I'm going to be using some scissors, a wire for floral, and I have a 26 gauge wire. I'll show you that in a minute. I've got my hot glue gun going and ready, and I've also got, let me show you real quick here. I've got these plastic balloon straws or sticks. I don't know what you want to call them, but these you can purchase them on Amazon, any craft store supply. When you're looking for balloons and such, you can find items like this. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using for my balloons. I do have these little stars here, which I've been using as a theme in all of my arrangements, so I plan on using some of them in there. So I may need to extend some of them, and I have some floral picks. I have some also left over from other projects that I've been cutting from, and then I've got a little leftover stick, so I may use that. I have a ton of these sticks as well, so I could use those also for extending. Let's see, what else? I'm going to be using some ribbon, because I am going to be putting a bow on both of these arrangements here, and of course I've got the assortment of flowers that I showed you. Okay, so let's get started on this one. The first thing I want to do is I want to dust them because they're really dusty. So I'm just going to pull out my duster from right under here and just try to shake off as much as I can. Yes, I could take the flowers out and then dust them, but I might as well remove, you know, dusted, clean flowers. Okay, I'm going to do the same to the other one, and I will be back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this arrangement. I'm going to pull out all the yellow flowers. I'm actually going to leave this lavender here. It has sort of a grayish purple tinge, and I think it's fine for the baby boy theme. And I'm going to save these flowers because then afterwards I can replace them, or just make a whole new arrangement with these and then add something else in this particular container. Now the other thing I did with this container is I added this raffia on here. It was during Christmas and I liked it a lot, and I went ahead and left it, but I'm going to go and refresh it by removing the raffia ribbon. There we go. Just basically glued it at the back, so it comes right off. So now I've got a nice little white container. I am using some raffia to decorate, but I don't want it everywhere. Okay, so let's get these out of the way, and let me get my blue flowers. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm taking some of the lavender that's in the center and I'm moving it further back, because this is going to be an arrangement that's going to be where there's a wall behind it. So I don't want to put any flowers in the back here like it was before. It was set up like a centerpiece before. So I'm just moving these back a bit. There we go. There's some long stringy bits here. I'm going to push these over to the sides. I think this one's okay. Yeah, Yeah, it's sticking into the arrangement. Okay, I'm going to reset the cotton bits, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out. They're kind of getting a little worn, so I'm going to freshen those up. Okay. I'm going to freshen up the greenery that's up here in the front. Just by pulling it out and then pushing it back in way into another little hole in the styrofoam. And then I'm lifting some of the moss to cover up. Let's see, one right here in the middle. Okay, so there we go. Nice and ready for some new fresh flowers. I am going to put some balloons in there, so I'm going to go ahead and put the stick in there. That's going to have the balloons. Push that in there, like that. I think I want to push it behind these here. Yeah, there we go. So some of this hides a little bit of the stick. Okay, there we go. Once I get the balloons on there, of course, I'll push it back in there and set it again. These little bits are really kind of worn out a bit, so I'm going to throw them out. Okay, so I'm going to take these flowers. These are from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to grab some more of these on this side. These bushes are from the Dollar Tree. They were only $1, and they have some nice little flowers on them. And I'm just going to cut them all off. Let me get this out of the way because I feel like I'm going to knock that over. Okay. All right, let's cut these at the very longest part. I was going to remove the leaves, but I'm going to go ahead and leave them on. Okay, these all have little flowers on them. Okay, I'm going to take what seems to be the longest one, put it right in the middle. There's leaves here that are kind of in the way. Let's push them out of the way. And I'm going to make sure that I'm actually sticking into something. So I've stuck it in there, and I'm just going to kind of decide that maybe that's a little too low. So I do have these are floral wire stems, or floral stem wire. And these are a 20 gauge, 18 inches. It's 20 gauge, that's the thickness of the wire, so it's pretty nice thickness. And it's, you know, pretty firm and stiff, but you can bend it, it's pliable. And then it's 18 inches long. I also need to get some floral tape. I'm not very prepared, am I? I did 2 earlier projects today. Is that a good excuse? So I've already done a video, which took me all day. Okay, so let's grab some floral tape for my little ducks. Okay, put that back. All right. And let me push this up a little bit. Okay, with this one right here is the one that I had put in, but I decided it's a little too low. I think I'm going to raise this as well. So I'm going to put this up against the wire here, and I'm overlapping it about 4 inches because I don't want to put it very close to the edge and then it do, you know, that. So I need to get some good firmness. You could take this wire and actually just wrap it around like that as well. And now we need this greenery tape. This was probably a good project to have done live, but I really didn't have a sense of time today as to when I could do things, and I needed to do my videos for Tuesday and Friday of this week and get them out of the way because I have the baby shower and I have to do a lot of things, make cookies and prepare some cupcakes and things, and I have to go order some stuff, some foods. Okay, so I didn't really have the luxury of time that I really wanted. Okay, so now I'm going to decide how tall I want it, and I kind of want a little just underneath the height of the whatever I said this was, the lavender. Okay, so I'm just going to trim part of this, and you're probably thinking all that just to trim it, but it actually did add some length to this. It added about, it's about right here, it's about 6 inches, 6-7 inches. Got something floating around in my glasses here. Okay, now I can Insert that back in, right at the height that I want it. Okay, so what I'm going to create here is what I call a triangle. This is used in floral design as far as shape is concerned. So I'm going to create a triangle with my flowers like that, okay? This little greenery bit here, I'm going to give it a little bit of height with this leftover bit here. Again, get some floral tape, wrap it around, pull on the tape that releases the adhesive on it. So you roll it around, it'll stick and stay in place. Okay, let me put this bit of greenery kind of behind right here. This will be next to that flower. Let me redirect these back that are back here also. So I'm going to remove them. There we go. Plus some of those leaves on the bottom were getting in the way. Okay, now let's see which other ones are probably the longest pieces. They're all pretty much the same. So I'm going to get 2 more. And I'm going to get, let's check this first, because if I put this in, that's pretty far in and I want it to come out just a little bit more. So I'm going to add some stem to this. Let me do half just to add the extra little inches that I need. Put one on this side, and then I'm going to do the same to the other side. Okay, so here I've created a triangle. 2 out here, 1 at the top. So that creates a triangle right there. So now I just want to fill in between. I'm going to redirect this greenery to stand it up straight right here. And this one as well, because it was bent going downward. So I'm going to redirect it facing upward so it fills in some here. Now let me look at it. These are nice and long, so these will fill up height. So I'll probably cut off these little leaves here, add some stem to them, make them a little longer so they can give me some height back here. Okay? So they can give me some height back here. Okay? I'll take one, and this time I'm actually going to fold it so I can cut it in half. Alright, so I'm going to prepare some more of these stems with these floral stem wires, and I'll get up close to the camera so you can see the label. This is actually from Hobby Lobby, but you can find similar in other floral craft stores or on Amazon. So that's it. Alright, so I'm going to prepare some of these just the way that I did the others that I've stuck in there, and I shall be back. Okay everyone, so I've gone ahead and I prepared a lot of the flowers, and I've also cut up some flowers for the other arrangement that I had, and I've removed a lot of the flowers, or pretty much all of the flowers, and a lot of the greenery, and I'm pretty much going to start fresh on the other one. I like this one where I left some stuff still in there, but the other one I've pretty much cleaned it all out, and I'm going to start all over recreating the arrangement so that I have it at the right height where I want it for the balloons. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue filling this in. And as I had told you before, I'm creating a triangle. So I've gone ahead and I put another one here right in the middle. So now what I want to do is I want to add some here that are not as tall as this, but obviously don't stick out as far as that either, but they'll stand about right here. So we want that. And then we want some kind of in the front as well here. So I've prepared them with some longer stems right here. Let's go ahead and do that then. Stick that in there, so we don't want it to be as tall as this one. We want it to be shorter. And we're just going to bend it forward just a tiny bit. And of course, this greenery here helps to hide a lot of that stem so it doesn't look so bare. Let's put that one in here. Same idea. Bring up that greenery there. Bend the flower forward just a little bit. I'm going to bend this greenery. Bring it around the front of this flower a little bit. Oh, but this lavender keeps getting in the way. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now I said some coming out through right about this area right here, one on each side. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So, put it about right there. Hold it forward a little bit. Another one here. Bend it forward a little bit. Let me turn it around so I can look at it. Okay. Now I want one right in the middle between this and this. So pretty much creating another triangle right there. Okay. Now we're going to bend the stem just a little bit. Okay, then I've got two little shorties here, and I'm going to go ahead and put these here in the front, right in there. That adds quite a bit of flowers, as you can see. And then I've got some of these in white with a kind of like a baby's breath. I also got this one, I got it from the Dollar Tree, as well as these. I don't know if I mentioned that particular bush was from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to put these to come out right between these here and then this one over here as well. I've got some more if I need to put more. So I've just done these few little stems. I'm going to put one coming out right in the front here. Let me turn it around because there is a leaf there. And I've just got to move it out of the way so I can tuck that in. This one is leaning forward too much, so let's just... Okay. And now these two, kind of off the sides here. Bend it forward. Like that. Let me turn it around and look at it. That looks pretty uniform. Okay, so I have these little stems here. These stems are from Christmas. They're from the Dollar Tree, and I had these left over. I purchased them, and I don't know how many bushes I bought, maybe 3 or so, but I never used them, and I don't know why, because they're really cute, and I went with the colors from my Christmas. I think I just bought so much in Christmas that I just happened to have those left over, and I think I was just buying in case I needed extra things. But I don't recall using them. I may have used them in maybe one arrangement. So I'm going to use them now because I am adding a little bit of creams into some of the decor. This is getting twisted into my shirt. The end of it was getting twisting into the fabric of my shirt. How strange. Okay. Now we're just going to do that. I'm going to look at it. I kind of want it to stick out right here. I'm going to do another one at that same height, and then I do a couple here, and then one right in the middle. So I'm just following the same idea of a triangle. Okay. Now, I've extended these greenery as well because I felt like there wasn't enough up here. There was plenty of it down here. So I'm going to turn it around and look at it. Yep. I'm going to insert it right in front where that little flower, little white flower is, but then I'm going to bring the flower. So I inserted it kind of in front of this, but then I brought the little white flower between, like it had 2 little stems coming out of it, so I inserted the white flower right between that. Okay, balance it out on the other side. Leaf is in the way. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta move things out of the way and push things down. Okay, put the flower to go between it. Let me look at it because it is coming forward a little too much. There we go. That looks better. Okay. And I've got more of these. Don't have to use them all. Now I've got a bow, and I'm going to put the bow off to the side on this side here, and I've also put it on a extension. I don't need it to be that long, so I'm going to remove some of that off. And reach in and tuck it in there. That looks pretty. Turn it around. And I see some little spots that I'm going to fill in with these berries. Okay. This one's supposed to be kind of in the middle here. Yeah. Put another one on this side. Fill in that. I'm just kind of pushing things down here. I'm pushing them a little bit that way to make room for this bow. So I'm just kind of directing things a little more in that direction so that the bow can utilize this space here and not make this side look overcrowded and then the other side look bare. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just taking a look at it, and I think it looks fine the way it is. I don't need to fill it in anymore. I'm going to save that. So that's this first arrangement, and then up here will be some balloons, and I will show you that with the other arrangement. But this is done. Okay, so I'm going to get on to the next one. Alright, as you can see on this vase, I took out pretty much everything. This was the pink arrangement, and it's pretty bare right now, but I think it gives me a nice basis, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make more of a rounded arrangement rather than the triangle that it was, and that will give me some room for the balloon to be, you know, it can show off a little bit better without having too much up here nearby the balloons. Plus they'll have some little strings hanging off of them, which I'm going to curl, and I've already put the strings on here. So all I have to do is just curl that ribbon. I think you're familiar with this curling ribbon, where you just take one piece at a time, run it through your scissors, and they curl up. There we go. The higher you go up to curl it, the curlier it'll get. If you go a little bit lower, just loosely, then they'll be hanging a little bit longer with just a curl on the end. So that just depends on how you do that. Okay, so that's my little curls. This is going to go right in the middle. But I'm looking at my styrofoam that's in this particular arrangement. The other one was pretty messed up because I have been putting flowers and taking them out. But I've done a lot more with this particular one. And the because I've taken out flowers and I put in some really thick stems in there. I've got some pretty big holes. So what I'm doing is I grabbed a piece of styrofoam, any little scrap of styrofoam, but I happen to have this little, I don't know, a little disc here of styrofoam that I can use. My flowers, if you can see the flowers back here, they're not trash, so they're just resting on top of the trash can for now. Okay, so then I'm going to take this, put it right in here, and I'm going to hot glue it. So actually I'm going to pull these out to make sure that they're out of the way. They weren't even sticking in that far. Okay. I'm just kind of blow off any excess on there. Okay, my glue gun's still on. Yes, thank gosh. Alrighty. And the cord is stuck under the table. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to pour lots of glue in there. What's left of any flat parts it could possibly have. Okay, I think that's good. And then we're just going to put this on top. And then I'm going to take these are little wood floral picks. I don't know if you can see that, it's just a stick. You can use anything. I'm going to slide that in, push it all the way in to make sure it also gets into the, I should put some glue on it. I'm going to do this sideways right here. Make sure it gets into the styrofoam that's down here, because it had a lot of little holes. Not only that, but it wasn't even, so that's what this is helping with. So And that's hitting another stick, so let's work over here. You can push it in. Use your wire cutters so you don't hurt your fingers. There we go. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here on the little sticks. Don't put too much glue. You don't want to seal it in the whole styrofoam and then you can't stick anything into it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this greenery. Usually I start off with a flower, but I'm going to put this greenery back basically where it was. So here's the handles, because this happens to have handles. I'm going to put it on each side like that. And then this one. And this is going to be a centerpiece, although it's not really going to be in the center of anything, but I'm going to just make it like a centerpiece. Okay, so these are all going out, as you can see that right there. All right, so now we want to decide on our height, and I've got these little balls here that were in the arrangement already. I want to reuse those. I'm going to put my balloon stick in there, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I really want to be able to pull it out, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue in there just to make sure it stays in place, and decide the height of where I want the balloons to be. So it's going to be like really high, so let's push them in a little bit more. The stick, that is. Okay, I think that's good. Balloons way up here. Let's see. That's good right there. That's pretty high. So all these little strings are fine where they're at. So I'm going to then use one of these right down the middle as well. And I'm using my handles. And I'm going to just go a little bit lower than the height here where the balloons will be resting. Put the other one on the other side. I'm sliding them in at a bit of an angle so that they're not like straight up against the straw here, but open like that. Okay, and then I've got two more, and then I'll just do them at an angle but further out into the arrangement to establish how wide I really want it to go. So as you can see right there, I don't want it to go any higher than that. I don't want it to go any higher than these. These are going to be at the most height. These are going to be at the widest. Okay, let's put it back with the handles. Sometimes I forget that when I have handles. And then I end up doing an arrangement and I kind of want something to be at the front and it turns out to be off to the side. So just pay attention to that. Although I love things with handles, I try not to do like a centerpiece with a handle. Okay. Because then I get lost because I'm trying to do everything all the way around. Okay, so now I've got these two taller fern bits. And usually, like I said, I start with flowers, but I'm starting off with greenery this time. And I'm going to put that also. And I'm going to go just a little bit further back from this stick, but it's still going to be going out that way. And let's try to slide it in as far in as we can so they kind of mimic these little balls and how far out they go. And then we can just bend it, you know, if it's just too much. And this one, instead of going back, I'm going to go forward a little bit. Just push it in. Gotta get in there, give it some muscle. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, if I hold the styrofoam so you can see where those are being stuck in there. Alright. And don't worry about hiding the styrofoam right now. You can worry about it, hiding it later, you know, slipping some moss in there. I usually like to do that sometimes before, but a lot of times what I end up finding out is the moss kind of gets in the way when I'm trying to insert something. And then a lot of times I put so much in there that you can't even see inside. So I'll wait till the end now and put all my items in there before I decide how much moss should go in there. Okay, so now I'm going to pick out the tallest, and this seems to be the tallest flower. And that's pretty good because once like I said, I wanted it, this is the highest point, so this has to be lower. And not only that, but let's see. I don't know what else I was going to say. I just need it to be lower than this, so that gives me at least a couple of inches of insertion, and at least I need that much to insert my stems, at least 2 inches into a styrofoam to make sure they don't, you know, topple out. And I shouldn't be putting any glue, and I am on some of these. But I shouldn't, that way I can pull them out easier. And not only that, but when you glue something and you try to pull it out, it rips some of the styrofoam out. Okay, so I'm putting this one, this is my center flower. And even though this is a centerpiece, this is kind of what's going to be the front because it is going to go kind of on a wall. But I do want to keep the blue arrangement in my home. So then afterwards, all I have to do is pull out the balloon stick. The balloons and the stick, actually. All right, let me put some more glue on my glue gun here. Okay, so now I want to build the circle. So now I want to go between this ball that I put in the front and this one that I put here in the back. Put flowers in between them. And this was pretty close to that other stem, and as we saw, we didn't need to add any extension to it, so we're going to work with that. And I'm trying to keep myself from putting any glue, and I'm still doing it. I'm going to put it back here. I don't want it to extend further out than these guys, so that means it has to go further in. There we go. And I'm going to put one opposite, so whatever's here, opposite. There we go. It's better to stick it straight down and then bend it, and it's not sticking out any further than that. Sticking it like that is kind of hit these little sticks over here, so you want to keep an eye, mind on that. Okay, I'm going to continue now. I'm going to be on this side now. Push this flower stem. Let me trim off some of this. It's kind of keeping it from going in. Let me turn this around so I can see as well. I go straight down and then bend it outward like that. And then the opposite on the other side over here. Straight down and then bend it outward. And we lose a leaf. And we have one left over. But you know what? I'm going to put it right in the middle on the other side of the stick. So that kind of makes this one look like it's really full. Okay. So that's what we have now. And I'll turn it around like that. And then you can look an overview right there. Okay. Look at these pretty curlies. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten these curls so they're not falling into the arrangement. And I kind of cut one there by accident, but that's okay. Starting higher on the string so the curl is up higher and shortens it. Okay, there we go. That is nice. Okay, so now I'm going to fill it in with some of these little flowers. They're so pretty. I think I got this bush at Hobby Lobby. Doesn't really matter because you'll find your florals wherever you can. Now I want to put some of these up here, and they're too short, so I'm going to have to extend them. So I'm going to do the same thing and add these floral stem wires to lengthen them. So I'm going to do maybe 4, maybe 6 of them. I'm going to extend them. So I'll be back once I have those prepared. It's just the same way that I did the ones in the other arrangement. Okay, so I'm back, and I've gone ahead and I prepared these stems. I only did 4 of them, and then I left the other 4 short because I felt like that was long enough for the arrangement. So now I'm just going to stick some in to my arrangement here. And these are going to be about the same height as these blue ones here. And I'm going to put one on each side. And now I probably only needed to do 2 of them, but oh well. This one was on this side of the, kind of behind this fern leaf, so I'm going in front of it, on this side. So like I said, whatever you do on this side, do it on the direct opposite of it. There we go. And they're not sticking out too far. This is the tallest thing here. And it's just making everything rounded like that. Take the other 2 this time. And these are going to go further in because I'm measuring it according to this little ball here. Let me turn this around so that you can see right there. So if I put it in, I'm just going to keep beating it till I get about the height of these guys here, little balls here. And then the rest of them I'm going to fill in at the bottom. So I'm going to go pretty low. Let's see, right in here. Another one over here. Well, let's go opposite because we're always following that rule. Underneath this hydrangea. Now underneath this other one. And then opposite of that, which would be over here underneath this other one. So there we go. And I've got a couple left over. So what I think I'm going to do is, because I feel like right where this ball is, I feel like it needs a little bit more. So I'm just going to put another one on the other side of it, kind of mimicking the one that's on this side. So I'll do the same thing to the one in the back. So I have another piece here, just to fill in those little spots. Okay, so then I also had some greenery that was in that arrangement. It had a lot going on, and then it had these two little bushes. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these out on the side here where the handles are, and I'm just going to trim off one of these because it looks a little crushed. There we go. This one's a little crushed as well, just so that it looks nice. I'll put my flowers away. They're no longer in my trash. Okay, so now let's see. I want to make a bow just like I did for this one, so I'll go ahead and do the bow. All right, and I need some wire, about 10-12 inches. I don't need that much. And I had a little bit of a stem, the white stems, the floral stems that I showed you. I have a piece left over. So I'm going to start off with a nice little tail. I'm going to make this bow a little tighter than that one. So that means just making the loops a little smaller, because this isn't a wire-edged ribbon, so you can't really poof it up nicely. But if you use a lot of it, then it kind of helps, but I don't want to use too much. I bought it just specifically for everything that I'm doing for the shower, but I'm almost done with all my decor. I just need to do some balloon things that I want to put here and there, and I'm going to need some ribbon. And I think I might use this one because it's pretty much ties in everything. There's a little bit of this ribbon in almost everything, including the corsages. I'm only going to do 4 loops on each side, so that's 8 loops altogether. And I don't know what happened to my wire that I cut. It's on the floor. I'll cut another one. There we go. I guess it was when I was moving around the ribbon. Okay, so now I've got that here. I'm going to pull down the little tails so they're coming downward. Okay, so then I'm going to take the wire that's on my bow and then wrap it around this little white, but I'm going to also wrap, I'm going to make like a little hook. Okay, and that's going to hook right in the middle where the bow is wrapped with the wire, the other wire that I have on it. And let's just wrap it on there to grab it. There we go. And then just kind of pinch it, and then I'm going to take this, the green wire that I used on the bow, the ends, to wrap around this white one. And then if you want to make it all nice and professional, wrap it up with some floral tape. I'm going to trim the little wires, they're too much. Okay, so let's take some tape, some floral tape, and wrap them up so we don't see that mess that we made. I'm not going to go all the way down because a lot of the stem's going to go into the styrofoam. Okay, so now we have a bow. Put it into my arrangement. I'm going to trim a little bit. It's a little too long to stick. A little too much to be poking in. Okay. And normally I put my bows off to the left, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it that way. Stick it right in here. Let these tails just kind of flow out. Just not only that, but it also fills in that little space that was there. Okay, so now that I know where that bow is going, and I'm not going to be hiding anything with the bow, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with the greenery that I have. There's a couple of them that are already on some stems here, or at least I imagine there was two, but I guess it's just one. I'm going to put that one right in the middle, coming out right in the middle to fill in all this empty space here. Okay, and then one right above this fern. So I'll do the same on the other side. So I'm trying to get one that's about the same length. Okay, so now I'm just going to look at it. I'm looking at the side here, making sure that there's no holes that I can see in. You don't want everything too crowded. You know, you want it to be a little loose. You want to imagine maybe a little butterfly flying through it, or little bugs flying through it. But you don't want to see the styrofoam. So then that's when you can get some moss. Tuck it in there, fill it in, and cover any styrofoam that might be showing. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of these. This is kind of a viney bit. And I'm going to go opposite from where the bow is. And put that viney bit right here. Because like I said, there's going to be a wall back here. This is basically a centerpiece. So when I'm done with it for the baby shower, I'm just going to remove the balloons, and I'm going to remove the bow, and I'll just put a little greenery there or something to fill that space in. I'm going to do the opposite over here. I don't have another. Yeah, here it is. Here's a nice long viney one. Okay, so now if I look at it right here, I have an empty spot because opposite is the bow. So I'm going to use this just to fill that in. And now I don't see the styrofoam anymore. Okay, got two pieces. And this viney piece, I really want to save it for when I remove the bow up here in the front. So I'm just going to save that one to the side. And I'm just going to take another look at it because I feel like here in the front, right behind the bow, it needs some greenery. It just kind of had a little bit of a bald feel right there. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at it. I don't see anything. Yeah, if I look closely, I do, but I'm going to grab some moss and stuff it in there. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'm going to get the balloons ready. Go ahead and put them on the stick so that you can see the whole completed effect. Alright, you guys, these are my completed arrangements that I've made from other already existing arrangements. All I did was replace the flowers, but I kept all the greenery as you saw, and then I dressed them up with some bows. I also added these star picks right in here, as you can see here, and then I've got one right down here, and then a white one on this other side over here. These are the balloons. I don't think I'm going to use this many balloons on them. I think I'm just going to use the one that's shaped like a star, and of course you have to imagine these helium blown. These are just as is right now with a little pump. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you enjoyed watching how I transform an existing arrangement into something special for this particular baby shower that I'm doing. And this is, again, project number 9. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you leave a nice comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and thank you to everyone who has. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so that you know when I put up my videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday. And as always, enjoy.